चन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्तवृंद जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. So we were here. Yes, so yesterday we read in this paragraph that there are different methods. Krishna speaks of um, the different paths to come to self-realization. Krishna explains different paths to Arjun, but out of all those paths, or rather, all the path is ultimately uh, created or meant in order to come to the point of devotional service. And devotional service, the path of devotional service, is the highest perfection of self realization. So it is like if somebody wants to go from ground floor to the 10th floor, and there is an elevator and there are staircases. Apart from thinking from the Kali Yuga point of view that it is for health purposes, we should take staircase, and keeping all that aside, if somebody wants to quickly reach to the 10th floor, then obviously taking the elevator is an act of intelligence. And somebody wants to reach the 10th floor very quickly and takes the staircase, then obviously that is going to take a longer time. Similarly, all the other path is like taking the staircase. Again, now taking the staircase for the other path, there is no guarantee that one path is going to lead to the next level and then to the next level, because if there are discrepancies, then again one may fall back and then they may have to start from scratch again. So there is always a danger of falling down. But the path of devotional service, when we engage ourselves in devotional service of the Supreme Lord. Devotional service means there are 9 limbs of devotional service. There is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, and Atmanivedanam. These are the 9 limbs of devotional service. So when somebody engages in these 9 limbs of devotional service, Shravanam, what we are doing now is Shravanam, listening about Krishna Katha from bona fide sources. Then Kirtanam. Kirtanam means one is doing our own chanting when we are doing it in the morning or any time of the day when we are doing it for ourselves, the 16 rounds that we chant. And Kirtanam is also when we are doing Sankirtan. In the presence of other devotees, we are singing the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. We are dancing to the Kirtan of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So that is also Kirtanam. Then Vishnu Smaranam, the moment we remember, okay, Shama Karunamai Devi Dasi, she was speaking about this. So immediately we are remembering what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. That is Vishnu Smaranam. Whenever we remember some pastime of Krishna, that is Vishnu Smaranam. Or we suddenly remember the face or the form of the beautiful deities in the temple or in our altar, that is Vishnu Smaranam. So in fact, even remembering or listening to the glories of the dear devotees, the pure devotees of the Supreme Lord, is as potent as listening to the glories of the Supreme Lord. The pure devotees of the Supreme Lord and the Supreme Lord are non-different, because it is said that Krishna and his paraphernalia are non-different, and the pure devotees are the paraphernalia of Krishna. So thinking about the pure devotees, how serving the pure devotees, that is non-different from serving the Supreme Lord. So these are the 9 limbs of devotional service. So when one takes to this path of devotional service, then immediately they are set on the level of self-realization. It is very, very easy. When Srila Vyasdev was not satisfied even after compiling heaps of books of Vedic knowledge, Sri Narad Muni, his spiritual master, explained that no path of self-realization can be successful unless it is mixed with devotional service. When Sri Narad Muni arrived, Srila Vyasdev was sitting by the banks of the river Saraswati in a state of depression. Just imagine, it is not just us who are in depressed state. Srila Vyasdev, who is the Shaktavesh avatar of the Supreme Lord himself, why was he in depression? Or why was he sitting in that state of, if he is the Shaktavesh avatar of the Supreme Lord? Because the Supreme Lord uses his uh, own parshads, his own associates, or his own dear devotees as an instrument in order to teach us. When we watch a drama, we see that there are different characters. Some may be playing the role of the hero, some may be playing the role of a villain, but ultimately, behind the stage, when they are not doing the drama, they are all friends. It is not that some actual dacoit or criminal, you bring some actual criminal to do the drama, then they will actually kill somebody. For the drama, the characters, when they are in the character, it may seem that, oh, this person, he is really envious of the hero, but actually that is not the case. Behind the scene, behind the stage, they are all friends, they are all together. So similarly, all the pure devotees of Krishna, they are in perfect knowledge, but Krishna uses them as an instrument. So all the forgetfulness or the depression or the sadness that may apparently appear, that is all Krishna's arrangement, that is Krishna's divine plan in order to teach people like us who are eternally bound, who are eternally conditioned. Nitya Baddha. We read about the two categories, Nitya Baddha and Nitya Siddha. So to teach the Nitya Baddha, Krishna uses his Nitya Siddha devotees, his Nitya Siddha associates. So Sri Narad Muni, when Sri Narad Muni arrived, Srila Vyasadeva was sitting by banks of the river Saraswati in a state of depression. After writing the Vedic knowledge, after giving all the Vedas, he is sitting in a state of depression. Hare Krishna. Then upon seeing Sri Vyasadeva so dejected, Narad Muni explained the deficiency in his compilation of various books. Sri Narad Muni says that, oh, Srila Vyasadeva, what happened? Srila Vyasadeva says that I've written all these Vedas, but I feel dejected. I don't feel satisfied. I'm feeling depressed. What would be the reason? So Srila Narad Muni explains that it is due to the deficiency in his compilation of the various books, the various Vedas. Even pure knowledge does not look well unless it is complemented by transcendental devotional service. Even the purest knowledge, even the pure, not the purest knowledge is transcendental loving service. So even the pure knowledge does not look well unless it is complemented by transcendental devotional service, because that is like the cherry on top of the cake. Without that, something looks incomplete. That is the cherry on top of the cake. There is nothing beyond that. But without that, everything looks pale. Everything looks okay. It's nice, but something is missing. So, and what to speak of fruitive activities when they are devoid of devotional service? Because the Vedas, they are giving these different paths. They are not talking about the highest knowledge. They are not talking about transcendental devotional service. They are talking about the different fruitive activities, the meditational methods, speculative jnana yoga, all those things. It is not talking about the highest. It is not talking about pure devotional service. Therefore, Srila Vyasadeva was feeling so dejected and so depressed and unsatisfied, even after writing so many books. So, what to speak of fruitive activities? They are useless if they are devoid of devotional service. How can they be of any benefit to their performer? What is the use of doing all these fruitive activities? What benefit is it going to do? Since it is not going to do any benefit, therefore, Srila Vyasadeva was not feeling any satisfaction. Similarly, Srila Sukdev Goswami, actually, so after this, what happens is, then Sri Narad Muni uh, instructs Srila Vyasadeva to write Srimad Bhagavatam, compile all the incidences and pastimes of the Supreme Lord and his devotees, where every page is full of the nectar of unalloyed loving devotional service. It is filled with that nectar. Every page you can drink the sweet nectar of this devotional service. and the beautiful reciprocation of the Lord and the devotees. That is Srimad Bhagavatam, the most ripened fruit of all the Vedas that is there, of all the scriptures that is there, the most ripened and the most nectarian fruit. So that is what Sri Narad Muni instructs Srila Vyasadeva to do. And then Srila Vyasadeva compiles the Srimad Bhagavatam, and then he feels completely satisfied, completely blissful. Similarly, Srila Sukdev Goswami prays in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 4, Text 17. There are many sages who are expert in performing austerities. There are many men who give much in charity. There are many famous men, famous scholars, and very high level thinkers. There are those who are very expert in reciting the Vedic hymns. Although all the activities of these men are auspicious, unless one performs them in order to attain devotional service to the Lord, they cannot award the desired results. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord Krishna, the only one who can award such results. What is Srila Sukdev Goswami saying in this? So Srila Sukdev Goswami is saying that there are many sages, they are doing so many penances, so many austerities that we cannot even think of. We are not even close to thinking of such austerities. Such sages are there. Then there are so many men who can give such huge charities. We don't even have bit of that to give. We even if somebody has, they may not have the heart to do it. But here there are so many great men who can do so much charity. There are so many famous men. There are so many scholars, very scholarly, very intellectual, people, scholars who can talk about different subject matters in such depth that we cannot even imagine. Then thinkers, philosophical thinkers who can do so many debates and discussions. And then there are so many people who may be expert in reciting the Vedic hymns. For me, even to remember one shloka, it is so difficult. I have to sit and recite and remember because my memory is horrible, really horrible. Kali Yuga memory. So, but then there are so many people who can recite Vedic hymns. They can recite all the 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. They can recite all the 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita just like that. But what is Srila Sukdev Goswami saying? That all these activities that all of them are performing, they are very auspicious. But unless they perform them in order to attain devotional service to the Lord, unless these are performed with the intention to please the Supreme Lord Krishna, that Krishna, I am doing this for your pleasure. I desire your devotional service. I desire the devotional service at your lotus feet. Unless this is the intention, these are of no use. They cannot award the desired results. What is the use of all the charity? What will happen after doing all that charity, after gaining all that piety? One may go to the higher planets, enjoy for some time, but after that, again, they have to fall down in the material world and then suffer. What is the use of doing all these austerities? Ultimately, what is going to happen? They are again going to take birth in some maybe rich, wealthy family, but they have to suffer the pangs of this material nature. What is the use of reciting Vedic hymns, all the Bhagavatam shlokas, all the shlokas from the Purans and this and that? What is the use if Krishna is not pleased? No use. Maybe after death they may take birth as an ant. Who cares? Nobody cares. Some famous scholars and intellectual persons, they are getting Nobel laureates. What is the use after their death if they have lived a life like cats and dogs, just with scholarly, some intellectual, you know, uh, goats, they will admire the goats. Donkeys, they will admire each other. The donkey starts braying, and uh, and that braying is so disturbing, but other donkeys will come and start braying together. Oh, this is so pleasing. The donkeys think that the other people or the other animals, they are envious because they don't understand how beautiful their braying is. So that is the thought of the donkeys. Similarly, these scholars and these so-called philosophical thinkers, what is the use if Krishna is not pleased? What is the use if they do not know the ultimate purpose of life? They have to again take birth as some cat or dog or pig or some snake or some fruit, some tree, what is the use if it is not intended to attain devotional service to the Lord? Because that is the ultimate purpose of anything and everything that one has to do. Therefore, Srila Sukdev Goswami says that, therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord, the only one who can award such results. So, only when we offer our everything, every activity that we do, every thought that we have, every everything that we, Krishna says, yet karosi, yet ashnasi, yet juhosi, yet dadasi, yet everything that you do, everything that you offer for charity, anything that you eat, anything that you do, just offer it unto me. That is perfection of life. Just do it for me and offer the results to me. Then it is perfect. Otherwise, it is of no use. Although many types of philosophers and transcendentalists believe the one who lacks knowledge cannot be liberated from material entanglement, there is no possibility that knowledge without devotional service can award liberation. In other words, when Jnana or the cultivation of knowledge leads one onto the path of devotional service, then only does it help one gain liberation, but not otherwise. So we'll pause here. We'll again read this paragraph tomorrow and we'll continue from here. Krishna willing. So thank you very much for your kind association. Vanchakalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namo. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
जय
जय पतंजलि गुरु महाराज की जय।
जय
जय
शिला गुरु महाराज की जय। शिला प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय
निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरे
हरि हरि
क्षमा करो ना मई
हरि
माता जी
बोल
की जय।
जय
हरि बोल।
शिला गुरु महाराज की जय।